Biology students, we are in Chapter 6, Section 4, the building blocks of life, and this is the section that talks about organic chemistry, macromolecules, and a couple of other things. But the book is going to be your number one resource. That's where you need to start, and then from there you can branch out using Chromebooks and any other resources in order to take notes. The activity lab that you're going to be conducting will be called Building a Macromolecule. Chemistry is the building block of all life on Earth. It isn't going away. I hope this lab activity will help you with the following. Your learning target is to describe the general structure, subunits, and examples for each of the 4 types of macromolecules. You will be creating models to show the arrangements of these molecules. And we're hoping that you will understand the process of dehydration synthesis, bonding, etc. So this is what you will be doing. We're getting out of our book. For 2 days will be spent using self-guided strategies and resources to learn more about macromolecules, compounds, polymers and monomers, and carbon bonds. Next, you will be given a 3-page guided note packet that helps you stay on task in your research and learning process. And that is 3 pages as stated before, and this is what it looks like. Blank compounds contain blank and blank atoms. Blank compounds can have one or the other, but do not contain both carbon and hydrogen atoms. Most of your body's molecules are blank compounds. If we skip down to the bottom, there are 4 main types of macromolecules found in living organisms, and you should be able to come up with those at this point, but if not, your book definitely and your notes will have this. But what you will be doing for 2 days in class, and if you need extra time, you'll need to do this for homework. If you don't need extra time, in class should be fine. But you have 1, 2, 3, I lied, 4 pages, so it's not a full 4th page, of notes that you will have to take, and you will only have 2 days to complete that. Clearly, please change on yours that it's a 4-page guided note packet. And judging by how homework and in-classroom tasks are completed, which isn't always very good, I have added this. You must complete the notes, and they should be accurate before doing the actual lab activity. Failure to turn in a complete and correct set of notes, which is what I consider your pre-lab work, will result in a 0 for the notes, and you will not be able to perform the lab activity. So the common question is for our freshmen, but juniors should know this in the science department at West County. If you cannot perform the lab activity because you did not do your pre-lab work, then you will be given a 5-page essay in lieu of the lab activity. On the 3rd and final day, we will have our lab activity. You'll need scissors, glue and coloring tools, and of course I can provide all of that for you. I should let you know, since this is our first big lab activity of the year, that horseplay will not be tolerated, and any student not using materials or lab time as intended will be referred to the office immediately and banned from this and all other future activities, and given alternative assignments for the rest of the school year when it comes to labs. Okay, on page 8 of your packet, you will see your pre-lab instructions are color the following pieces accordingly and then cut them out. So my suggestion to you is to not cut them out until the 3rd day. So if you color them in advance, that's fine to work in advance. I would never discourage that. But if you cut them out, I have absolutely no way of giving you the ability to store those. So here you can see water is blue, the base is gray. If I don't have a gray color, just get black and don't push down so hard on it. So you can follow these easily. Peach, for peach, I just take brown, and again, I just barely touch the surface. So I would not bother coloring these here on the page. These are your extras. These are, oops, I lost a piece. I have no idea what happened to it. I literally just had my thumb on it a minute ago. These here at the bottom of the cut line, these are the ones that you're going to color. Once you color them, you need to cut them out. On our 3rd day, once our research has been done and our notes are completed, this is what you will be filling out. Your task will be to use those 4 pages of notes to help you assemble and label the following items. So you can see number 1, step 1 is assemble a disaccharide sugar. The building block / monomers of carbohydrates are, and you have to fill this blank in. Okay, you just can't start building. You actually have to write it in, and you'll get that answer from your notes. Then it'll tell you place 2 of these, whatever this is, into a chain and anywhere that 2 pieces touch. Use the triangle water to point to the bond site. 1 water is always released from each bond site during dehydration synthesis. Once you are sure you have a correct arrangement, glue the pieces down and use a marker to label it as disaccharide. So at this point, that's when you will get a blank piece of white paper. So a couple of tips and tricks. You don't have to be super neat when coloring this. It shouldn't take you long to color at all. Why? You don't have to stay in the lines because you're going to be coming along and you're going to be cutting off all of the sloppy parts. Okay, so just cut them out. Okay, so pretending I have all my pieces cut out, I'm going to get my blank piece of paper and I'm going to write my name in the top left-hand corner along with my hour. Okay, if I can't read it, I can't grade it. And then I'm going to take my pieces however I think they need to be, and I'm going to put them in the order of my sheet. So if we're talking about assemble a disaccharide sugar, then that's the first thing that I should see when I'm grading your sheet. Okay? And taking a look here, I'm going to assemble them. I'm not gluing anything yet. And it's easier to go back and check my work and make sure that I'm correct versus having to start all over again because I'm not giving you extra supplies beyond what I gave you. So once you know that it's correct, you'll take your glue stick, and I would suggest taking it off of paper, and I'm out of glue. Okay. Line it up nice and neat. Part of your grade will be on neatness. And I know based on the directions, because of dehydration synthesis, that I lose a water. And water bonds in those 2. So when I'm done with that, my instructions say that I need to label this as a disaccharide. And that's how you're going to do it. And you will do it for all of them on the sheet, and it will keep telling you what to assemble. And this will be the due at the end of the period. Nobody will be able to take this home. You have plenty of time. This takes 40 minutes, and we have 48 minutes of class. So you'll get an additional 8 minutes over 3 days. So that's an additional almost 30 minutes, a half an hour. So there's plenty of time to do the lab. This paper with your name and your hour, everything labeled and glued down, will be due before you leave class on that 3rd day of lab. On the 3rd day of lab, the very last thing that you will be assembling will be an ATP nucleotide. And it even gives you a reminder to add a title and your name and the class period to your paper. Guys, I don't care about the title. So right now, you can just mark that off. I don't care about the title, but I do care that you give me first and last, and you need to have the hour. There will be a -2 points for each thing that's missing for a total loss of up to 6 points. 2 points for your first name, 2 points for your last name, 2 points for the hour. So make sure you put those on there. Before leaving my classroom after your lab activity, please clean up after yourself and make sure no scraps are on the floor around your desk. If so, you'll need to pick them up. Now, this is the portion that you can take home with you on Friday after the lab or whatever the third day is. You will use your lab and macromolecule notes to answer the following questions. So you'll complete this chart, and then you'll answer these 2 questions, and this will be due the very next period. And yes, it's all for a grade.